Hello and welcome to In the Metal. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Johnny McElherron and I am based in Ireland, working with independent watches and independent watchmaking, more specifically, for the last 20 odd years. And I am delighted today to be doing an episode in the old school of In the Metal. And if you remember back in the day, back in actually 2020, is the last time that we spoke to our guest, and I had to wheel out the heavyweights and get some reinforcement in for this episode, because what we're going to do this afternoon, or this conversation, is take a look at the way that this guy Machiel Hulsman creates his watches, and his new watch in particular, the Solstitium Tourbillon. So as I said, I could not do this on my own, and I had to wheel out the serious reinforcements. And so if we're getting down and nitty-gritty with watchmaking, Dan, you're getting the call, my man. How you doing, brother?
What's up, my man, Johnny? How you doing?
All good here. We're actually melting on the hottest June day in record, and so, mind you, I will take it. If you saw what we've been getting for the last X amount of months, this is a very welcome development, if a little sticky.
Yeah.
So the makeup's coming off, Dan. The makeup's coming off, man.
Yeah, don't be a poser and wear makeup. So I guess I'm sending some of the Florida weather over to you guys over there.
Anytime. I'm delighted with that. So, Dan, listen, it's been an age, or it seems like it, and it's fantastic to welcome you back for an episode of In the Metal. We could not do this one without you, because as we've said in the past, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, hardcore, hands-on watchmaking, this is your element. And our guest tonight, I know we've spoken to Machiel before, but this new piece, and not only the new piece, but the way he goes about it is it's astonishing.
He's unbelievable. We've known each other since he first started down this journey, and it just shows, with utmost of courage and determination. Just you can go, man. You can really sever the line and go. I mean, he's got this, what I sold my Porsche story to fund my start,
Yeah.
and he did, and perseverance, you can do it if you have the passion, and that's indie. Indie is our story. The watches and the micromechanics we do. When I bring new people into indie, I always try to equate it to the music I helped to create, the word thrash metal, which there wasn't anything before. Because we were the underground, first it was punk rock. It's the underground, you like the underdog, and you're different from the establishment. You're going and making music, beating to your own drum, let's say, or if you play guitar, beat, the jam to your own guitar. And it's the same in indie. I'm the only one who can kind of give those kind of, if there is a differentiation between the two, and there isn't. It's the same thing. And it's all about our journey, just like you fell in love with a certain band because of their stories, their personal stories. Why people followed the Grateful Dead. It wasn't just about the music. You had to know more about the characters. You weren't listening to the music, you were in the band. So I feel it's the same thing with true independent watchmakers. And that's what we're dealing with today. It's that
no
story.
question about it. I think we would bring him in. There's one word. You're talking about perseverance. I was thinking, Machiel, the way he has approached watchmaking was with a defiance, a dare to anybody to say you can't do it. He does it, and that's why whenever I saw his new piece there, I got wind of it.
And at the highest level. Right, so some people compete. We're all human, and even people should know that in watchmaking, it's not like if you just decide to make the tourbillon, you'll make one because there's a book that says you can. That doesn't mean you're going to do it and it's going to last for generations. It means it ticks. It doesn't mean that it keeps good time. It doesn't mean that takes way beyond that. So some people have certain plateaus. Some people go to school in watchmaking, become a teacher. Some people fall into sales. It's certain, and because of our human nature, our capabilities direct us in different directions. So it's very rare, and that's why there is so few of us that are reach certain heights in the area of complicated timepieces.
Yeah. Although I have to say, it's amazing to see there's a lot of new talent coming in now, and they're literally coming out of Morto, coming out of Wolfstead, and straight into. But listen, let us.
Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Let's go with this, man. So
we can talk forever, bro.
Yeah. With much further ado, let's go over to Netherlands and welcome Machiel Hulsman. Machiel, welcome back to In the Metal.
Hi.
Man, you're getting younger looking, I think. And
it's a watchmaking thing.
Yeah, it's been an amazing time. I was looking at our archives, and it's 2020 since we last spoke in September 2020. And I cannot believe it has been that long and how much has changed. And I was thinking about, in respect or in regard to your journey, where you come, because I remember that you were waiting, you were breaking out onto the scene with your first amazing creation. I remember meeting you in Geneva and seeing this piece. I'm just going, man. But it's not really the watches, I said to Dan, it's the way you make it. Dan, what do you think?
Well, like I said earlier, we go way back from the beginning, and we contacted each other. I think I can remember, and he was asking me questions, and I was asking him questions, and trying to uplift him like I do to all. I've been here a long time in this space, and even in music, it's about lifting up the other people. No one is a threat to you. We're all friends behind the scenes. We all help each other. We all get stuck. No one of us can do everything. It's impossible. It's just like a sport. Yeah. So it's wonderful to have someone as loving as him, and he's machine and tool crazy too. So he fits right in. Yeah. He has an incredible workshop. He's figured out his own path, his own way, and most of all, the timepieces have his signature. They don't look like anything else. That's what it's all about in indie. That's why I try to equate that to thrash metal music or heavy metal music. Each band in heavy metal that made it, and let's pick Iron Maiden. Nobody sounds like Iron Maiden. That's why you go see Iron Maiden. Besides their stories, right? We know each character in the band, like we feel like they're our friends. For me, luckily, they are my friends. And that's what indie is. That's what indie watchmaking is. And I keep trying to spread that because a lot of my friends are in indie are into heavy metal. Actually, more than 3/4 of the people I know. So it's beautiful to see that. When I see someone break through with their timepiece and they keep going to the second timepiece or the third timepiece, and it really starts to look just like who they are. That's it.
A big advocate of that idea, that concept that a watch is an extension of the personality of the person who created. And as I often say, only Vianney could create his Antica or his Deep Space Tourbillon. Only Ludwig Bayard could do his Upside Down or Half Time, or only Machiel could do the watches that have got a very distinctive
like when
signature, if you like. And
when like V&A came out with the Antigua way back when, we were all like, "What the?" Right? So that's kind of it's almost like he's the Ramones. It's like, what the? When they came out, it's like, what the? But now, so every TV commercial has a Ramones song on it. You see, that's kind of it. It's like, break the door down, and here come the floodgates.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. But listen, we have a lot to get through in this conversation, Machiel, and you've hardly got a word in yet. But you're going to get plenty of opportunity here, because I want you to talk us through what is your newest creation, and to fill us in on a little bit of the journey. We have a lot of images here to work through to illustrate this conversation. So, so pronounce the name of your new piece. I'm calling it the Solstitium.
Yeah, Solstitium yeah, summer solstice or solstice actually. So I launched it at summer solstice. So I designed this watch years ago, and then somebody said to me, "I want to be your first customer." And then I told him, "Okay, if you want to be my customer, you need to have a tourbillon." And he said, "Oh, great, let's make a tourbillon." But what is a tourbillon? I said, "Doesn't matter. Here's the design. You'll love it, even in 10 years." So he agreed. I built the timepiece. He bought the prototype actually, and I got a lot of positive response on it. And then I got this actual picture in rose gold from somebody from
This
Brazil.
one.
He made it with AI. And he told me, "I want this one." And I looked at it and I thought, man, that's a cool watch. I want to make it. I want to build
You're
it.
kidding me, man.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, let's do it. But I made the prototype. It's still working fine and everything. But the retrograde is like any other retrograde in the world. So it goes to 60 minutes, falls back to 0. So if you want to set the time backwards on the 0, you can't go further than 0. So normally it would stop or break the watch in other timepieces. But it will never jump forward to 60, back to 50, 40, blah, blah, blah. So you can't set it backwards. So I thought, okay, that's the first thing I have to change. So I designed it now in a way that you can actually set the retrograde forwards and backwards, and the hours jump forwards and backwards, of course, as well. And I made some improvements, some small improvements on the movement, because I learned from the prototype, of course. And there's always something. So it always, next time I will do it this way or that way, blah, blah, blah. And this is the next time. So I had the opportunity to start from scratch, completely redesign the whole movement, and start from there. And so it looks like the same movement, but it's completely re-engineered, and even better than it was. And I launched it in a series of 12 now.
Dan,
Amazing.
what a story to bring this from a customer delivery. This is the first for me because, and it makes perfect sense that a customer or a client can create something using AI to visualize what he wants the watchmaker to make, and to see that image. I had no idea, Machiel, that was an AI image, and to see how faithfully you have captured the absolute essence of what that client was looking for, and like it's a clone of the proposal. And what do you think of that, Dan? Like, from
Well, I'm been designing for the last 2.5 years my new flying tourbillon as well, and I think AI I've embraced it. But to get general ideas that I used to have to sit in Photoshop and sit and do for hours, if not days, just to say, oh no, that sucks, I gotta start over again. It's incredible. It's and I think we're going to see a lot more of this. The one-off type pieces that turn into a series. That's an incredible story. I mean, that's actually might be a first.
Yeah, it's the first for me. But I have to say, I'm going to try and, if possible, keep the conversation rolling forward here. That it's kind of a real stark contrast, if you like, between using today's technology, digital and AI technology, in comparison with the way that you create your watches. And I'm going to go back to the start, as you said, starting from scratch creating your new tourbillon. Let's call it again. It's the Solstitium Tourbillon, which has jumping hours and bidirectional retrograde minutes. So that would be a first, I would be thinking, on the retrograde minutes at least.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, as we know, Paul Gerber is the king of retrograde, so if he hasn't done it, then this is a first. He's the guy, you know. I mean, he's a hero to all of us, but yeah, I would say I haven't come across one, and you know me, I sit at the bench also and do all kinds of crazy complicated watches here in my service center. That's great, man. Just another incredible micro-mechanical achievement.
So this is your tourbillon we're looking at now, Machiel, which is the flying tourbillon, and it's very generously proportioned. It's beautiful.
It's 14 millimeters in diameter, and on this photo you can actually see the extra spring on the escapement on the escape wheel.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the first tries. It took some tries, some iterations, so it ended up with a hairspring.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked. It still works.
How are you computing your gear trains? Like, how did you overcome the bidirectional setting of the retrograde?
Well, yeah, that's actually the big secret, of course. So normally you have a cam, a snail cam, and so that it can turn, because there's a part in the cam where it goes back, and that's where the lever actually goes in and makes the retrograde hand jump back. So it falls onto the smaller diameter of the snail cam. So if you want to move the snail cam backwards, it gets blocked because you're going from the outer diameter to the inner diameter of the snail cam. So you have to forget about that concept and then think
outside the box.
Mm-hmm. So here here you can clearly see the snail cam actually in the center.
Mm-hmm.
So it rotates clockwise, and the big lever has a rubber on 3 o'clock approximately. So on 3 o'clock position. Mm-hmm. So that's where it jumps. It clicks to the inner diameter of that snail cam. So if you would set the time backwards on this one, you can see that the snail cam will actually be blocked by the lever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a normal situation. So normally, or you just try and you break the watch, or there's a safety built in that you can try it, but it will never, so there's a slip mechanism in, so it won't damage anything. But the hand will stay at 0.
Is there a close-up picture of that cam that's straight on?
I actually don't have a close-up of all of the images that we have, Dan. I don't think there's a close-up of...
Yeah, I mean, I can see what he's doing, but someone else is not gonna. That's great. You had definitely many sleepless nights on this one.
This one was actually quite easy. It took me, I think, 1.5 days. I think 1.5 or 2 days.
Wow!
To completely design it with the winding.
I'm impressed.
But the new one was a bigger challenge, of course, that you can jump forwards and jump backwards. So that's was another challenge.
It is fascinating, and for me, it's. While I'm listening to you here, I'm just wondering, how the hell do you think of these things? Because your background, Machiel, as we've said in our previous conversation, you don't come from you didn't come through the formal channels, if you like, that would bring a young watchmaker into the public sphere. You're self-taught.
Yeah.
And there's some kind of there's some kind of genius going on there, because
that's why I asked him how the hell are you computing your gear ratios, because he's an inspiration to everyone who's I can get the George Daniels book and I can do this. I'm quitting my job. I got enough funds to hold me off for a few years or so. This is my passion and I'm going for it. This is it. This is the story that others are if they're watching this video now or into the future, is very important for them. So whatever information that we can suck out of your genius brain that you can give to those people regarding things like this, without giving away, secrets, because like I said, you probably had many sleepless nights to come up with that. For someone like me, I have extreme OCD, ADD, HDD, or whatever letters you want to put together. It would take me, maybe I might get the general idea in my dream and wake up the next day and start, but to perfect it would take a long time. That's just the way, that's my personality. And that's why I like to ask, like someone like you, you just say, oh man, I just did it in 30 minutes. That's like, okay, where's your Superman costume, my man? Tell us. Tell us how you shoot the webs,
Well, it's something I really want to dig into, because because there's a lot of complications, of course, imaginable. But a lot of them have downsides. So I want to make things easy. So everything with a watch, it has to look nice and has to be easy in use. Like the perpetual calendar, there's no buttons. There's nothing. You just set the date, quick set, and then you're done. And if you set the date, you just go backwards and you're done. And you can't set the day of the week, because if it says it's Wednesday, it's Wednesday. So you can't change it because it's always correct. So, and that's the way I think it should be. Forget about the 200-year-old, 150-year-old designs and ideas. Try to think of something, try to think for yourself and start from scratch, and then you can make it even better than 200 years ago.
Mm-hmm. See, isn't that the same as music? Like from my genre, I'm not going to make the same music that's on the radio, because that's manufactured with, in the old days, that was told to you that you had to fit in a box by your record company in order to sell a certain amount of albums and reach the whole world and do all that. Whereas the heavy metal music was, this is the music that I create, that I like for me, and I think it should be done this way, and not like the old guys or the pop guys. I have some new stuff to show to the world. So, and then when you play live in music, right, in heavy metal, it's show me what you got, motherfucker. Pardon my language, right? That's how we are. It's battle of the bands. We're all friends before the show and after the show, all hanging out backstage. But as soon as the lights go out, it's it's them's fighting words kind of thing, And I feel the same thing is what we should have, and we do have here in Indy. Let's rip the dial off. Let's take the balance wheel off the back, throw it on the front, and let's know what. Nobody needs a watch anymore to tell time. Let's show me what you got, motherfucker. It's the same thing. And if you like me and my background, where I come from, and my struggles, maybe you like my watch, right? You get to hang out with me. We go out to dinner. It's a camaraderie. Same as thrash metal. You're not going to see a pop band and go home. You're in the band. You want to get backstage. You want to hang out with those people. It's the same indie versus, music. And that's what you represent. And that's what I keep trying to push forward in this sector of what we do. That's what separates us from big brand names, which I do here, Because that's like I said, we were speaking right before we went on. So I do a Patek Philippe here, and Vacheron, and Frank Richard Mille. And when they get up to that ladder, they get to Richard Mille, they collect 3 or 4 of them because they know they're at the end of the ladder. They can't spend any more money. Then they're like, well, what's next in this hobby, And then they're like, have you heard of independent watchmaking? And all of a sudden their friend or me shows them some pictures of something like your watch. And they go, holy crap, I didn't notice it even existed. Wow, this is like a whole nother world. Like these are the artists. And that's right. And that's where I'm going with this. We are the artists. We're, it's our art. You don't have to like it. I don't really give a shit if you like it. it's for the select few, and it's beautiful. It's true art. It's true micromechanical art. That's where we're at. That's what this is.
No question.
Because I look at the back of this and I'm just like, okay, he made an amazing idea by selecting the sunburst Geneva stripes. He could have went straight, but it just enhances everything. That's his art. That's his choice. It's just
absolutely. Moving along, Machiel, I have images set out here in order, and the next set of images I have are about your new home. So, their new watch at your atelier. So, the last time we spoke in 2020, you were where? I believe in a shed or something on your house property, or?
Yeah, I started in a little shed. It was 2 by 3 meters. So it was I think even smaller. So it was about 55 square feet. Yeah. So and then I moved to a school building across the street, and then to a bigger space there. And now we finally bought our own school building. So this is 1914 in the front with the tiles roof, tiled roof, and then the part on the right. This part is from 1930, and we completely renovated it inside, outside. No gas, just electricity now. So comfortable living now, and we live actually on the right, on the last part of the, well, how do you call it? Oh, that's actually my office with the 2 windows in the tiled roof.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm sitting now. So that part of the building is my atelier.
Wow. Right. My thinking on this, whenever I was looking at it, was going, that is one hell of a leap over the years. This is obviously not something you're doing to see how things work out. There's a major investment in Machiel Hulsman here, and so there's obviously been a lot of encouragement coming from your collectors and from within the industry to, and also you need the space to do what you're doing.
Yeah, I needed more space, so that's for sure. And yeah, so we bought this school building. I'm working on the right side of the building, and it took about 2 years to renovate. I had to do all the calculations for the heat plans and electricity and everything. So next to that, I was working on the most complicated timepiece in the world and making the triple axis tourbillon. So sleep was an overrated experience. So it was just working. But,
and this is the space that you've created for yourself. Folks, we're looking at this Machiel's new atelier, and from my point of view, I'm blown away from it. But for someone whose life and every day is spent in an atelier, Dan, what are your thoughts?
I can't wait to come visit. Can I have a bed on the floor? We're obviously, we're gearheads kind of thing. We try to get our own way to make gears, pinions, and the things that we do. Everyone's shop is a little bit different, even though we utilize some of the same tools. But this is incredible, and to see that he had to go back to school. He couldn't get enough of going to school when he was a little kid, so he had to go back. They got to go back and buy the school to move back in. It's a great story.
It's delicious. Story. Absolutely, it's an incredible story.
This is great.
I'm looking at the investment that's going on here, Machiel. Obviously this is a huge undertaking, and and for me, it's saying this guy is here for the duration. And the way that I think, as you pointed out earlier before we came on, Dan, was the benches and the whole
Beautiful.
order of the workshop. It's incredible.
Yeah, really nice benches. You said you had those made locally, right, to your specifications?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, in the Netherlands. Yeah, Spitz actually does the same. The same company made his benches, so they make them to your specifications. Hulsman.
Same company.
Okay, yes.
Hulsman, yeah, right, gotcha. Wow, guys, this guy's good. Great design. Great.
Yeah.
I know. I watched the video of you somewhere where you were explaining how you went about making your pinions on the machines that you had on those long benches there, and I'm sure others have watched that too. So thank you for sharing that in the past to all of us as well.
Ah, nice, no problem. Nice.
Yeah. No, actually, you touched on something there. If you look at the amount of different projects that you're working on, Machiel, from the pieces that you're working with, your experiments on your new creations, the innovations, getting those pieces figured out first in your head, then in physical, in prototype form, and also the layout and knowing what machinery that you're requiring, and the layout of the atelier.
How about he's not in Switzerland? How about he's not in Switzerland? Because being over here where I am, the challenges are insurmountable to just to get a piece of the correct metal to make a pinion over here. Especially when I started way back, and when Machiel started, it was unheard of. We're not in Switzerland. We can't go to the corner store like buying going down to the 7-Eleven here and getting yourself a Pepsi. That's what it's like in Switzerland. Yeah. You can get anything you want. It's around the corner and everybody knows everybody. It's a struggle. So don't just look at his incredible setup and go, oh man, wow, that's amazing. It's 1,000 million times harder and almost impossible in many areas, especially when you couple the word tourbillon into that. And believe me, I know that from being over here. So yeah, it's
a truly professional.
If you're all wondering when you look at us as indies, and maybe when we start, we're in a 300 square foot place and we got one little shop 170, and we're trying to make it happen. And then we have somebody else make this, or it takes us 2.5 years to make one prototype when you're starting. It's because we can't get 5 of something made somewhere or 3 of something made somewhere. It's not possible. It's impossible. So more and more, we quickly realize, hey, I got to buy another machine because I have to make that. And then I got to buy another machine. And even if you do give it to someone, and he's going to back me up, that's why he's smiling, right? If you give it to someone, oh yeah, I can do it. And then it's like 8 months later and you're still waiting. And then you finally get it and it's wrong. Something's wrong. Yeah. And that's the story. And then we're just like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm going to quit. I'm going to run out of money soon or whatever it is. Now you got to get another, you got to figure it, not just get a machine. You got to figure out how to restore the machine and then figure out how to run it and figure out how to make the part all on yourself, because no one's going to really tell you unless, someone's behind the scenes giving you a partial hint. No one wants to divulge secrets. Everyone works a little different way. So that's why we all make things a little different. Even if we go to school to do it like me, we still we find our way to make things different. And that's why we all like to watch others, how they make pinions and gears, because that was always the trade secret, right? Because if you can make pinions and gears, or especially an escape wheel, how the hell do you make that? Then that's why my watches.
We're coming to that, we are coming to that. But let me tell you, but if we could, you mentioned, Machiel, that one of the projects you were working on, which has a tantalizing working title and is the grandest of complications. You care to elaborate?
Sorry?
Would you care to elaborate? Would you like to tell us more?
So when still living in Hilversum, I got a message from somebody, and he was interested in Nice project, making a complicated timepiece. And then I thought, well, it's a minute repeater, triple axis tourbillon, a perpetual calendar, blah, blah, blah. I thought, man, no, that's too much. So, but maybe, I already had something in mind. So I said, well, maybe. So then I found a friend in Switzerland, a famous guy, I won't mention his name, but and he said, no, impossible. And I thought, no, wait, hear me out. So if we do it like this and that, blah, 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 then it might be possible actually, but I do need your help. And he said, okay, I'm in. So I phoned the customer. I told him if I can hire some help in Switzerland, would that be okay? He said, yeah, as long as it's your project. So I told him, okay, then it's a go. Well, after that, I didn't hear anything ever again from that friend. I went to Switzerland many times to his atelier and, well, didn't help. So I had to do it on my own, and I found out that it was actually possible. So I designed the movement and found out it was actually the most complicated watch in the world, because I started counting and I thought, that's a lot. Started Googling, and then I found out 37 at that time. And then I thought, man, no, it's 60. So 60 in mine. So, okay, it's the most complicated timepiece ever. But the customer said, I want it to be a daily wearer. So it has to be easy to set. So I designed this layout. On 12 o'clock, there's sunrise and sunset. In the middle, there's a season indicator. On top, age of the moon. On the bottom of the circle, the 3D moon position and the moon phase. Then clockwise with the triple axis tourbillon. Then the first time zone with running equation of time, a remontoire, day-night indicator, jumping seconds, and then to the right is the second time zone with the day-night indicator and a monopusher chronograph. And then on 10 o'clock there's a perpetual calendar that can go forwards and backwards, with the blue hand being the day indicator, and that can actually jump forwards and backwards as well. But it's actually a different system than in my tourbillon.
Wow.
So it's a retrograde that is bidirectional, but a different system. But yeah. And there's a decimal minute repeater with petit sonnerie, grand sonnerie, 6 gongs, and a melody barrel. There's power reserve indicator, torque indicator for the sonnerie, indicator for the sonnerie. What's more? Okay, so there's about 60 complications inside. And so you set the date, and if you set the date, then the day of the week and the month will follow. So they will be correct. The year follows, it will be correct, but also the sunrise and sunset will be changed accordingly. The moon position and the moon phase, the age of the moon and season indicator and the running equation of time are all synchronized. So you just set the date and everything in the watch is completely synchronized.
Wow.
Forwards, backwards, doesn't matter. So it's easier than a normal date watch where you can only go forwards. Mm-hmm. This one has only a date to set, and then the whole watch will be synchronized. Forwards, backwards, doesn't matter. Yeah.
So I know that was like pure insanity, but I'm going to rewind a little bit again, and I'd like to ask that question again for everybody, not just for myself. Because you can compute all these gear ratios how, not going to watchmaking school, what was your pathway to learning how to do this math to compute gear ratios, just for the younger watchmakers that might be thinking about going into watchmaking, or for the more advanced watchmakers who want to just do a basic complicated timepiece?
Well, yeah, the gear ratios are actually not the hardest part. The energy consumption, that's harder to calculate. But so gear ratios, I did for this one. It has a moon position and moon phase indicator for that's accurate for 6,500 years. So it's 6,665.5 years to be precise. But I also have calculations for 68 million year accuracy for the moon. But I couldn't fit it not in this one. So I did so many calculations, and then you have to look at the space that's available, because there's not a lot of space.
But when you first started, I know, like everybody else, you picked up the George Daniels book and you read how he calculates basic gear trains, right? So from there, what software are you using, or how are you going about, without divulging your secrets, to give others a little insight, because we are indie, and it is a secretive industry, just to give people a little, maybe a possible avenue of where they can go down. That's where.
Yeah, no, for me it's not a real big secret, because so I use Excel, and I put some formulas in there myself. I also have an Excel for the gear, the teeth shape, the modules and the shapes. So that's about 7 formulas. So I put it all in Excel. And so when I say center distance between two gears, then it will calculate the shape of the teeth automatically. Mm-hmm. The diameters, everything. So that's a simple Excel I made myself for NIHS 2002, 2025. And for the gear ratios to the escapement, it's just a simple Excel as well. I made it myself. And then for energy consumption, so there's another Excel which I didn't make, and that can calculate the size of your balance wheel, for example, and the CGS for your hairspring, that kind of stuff. And it's an approximation. It's never completely correct, but you're getting close, and then you do the final adjustments yourself.
Are you still using the ISIL 5-axis machine to cut your plates and stuff? What are you using as far as CNC goes now?
Yeah, I had an ISIL 3-axis, simple one, and now I have a 5-axis ISIL as well, the IMG 1010, and it's very accurate.
Really? Yeah. So you picked that over the Micro 5, or was the Micro 5 not out when you were choosing?
Well, it's price. It's quite pricey as well. So yeah, I'm still driving my old Toyota. I have no Porsche to sell.
So wait, to enlighten us CNC guys, because I know you and one other person that's using the 5-axis from them. So it's not a common machine for us, but it fits. Well, it fits for small spaces. Can you tell us what kind of accuracy you're getting from it? If you change anything to it, because that's
that's a good question. So I actually got convinced Kai Corpela to buy the same one.
He's the other one.
Yeah, he's the other one. And then Holt Inrichs also has the same machine, and there's more now that actually buying the same machine. Yeah, this is Kai Corpela's work actually. So this is he made this for my triple axis tourbillon. He made the bridges. So we had the same machine, so that was convenient.
Mhm.
So he actually opened up his brand new machine, took it apart, and realigned the linear guide rails because he found out it wasn't accurate enough for him. And now he's working within 2 microns.
Mm. Yeah,
So when he came to my place with this part and the other bridges, I made the escapement and all the gears and everything, blah blah blah. And so I told him, okay, it's a triple axis tourbillon, so we need to talk about the tolerances, and they need to be within 2 microns. But 2 microns with normal machines is not. And I'm making my gears, those gears and the escape wheels and everything, on a 120-year-old machine.
Mhm.
So what is 2 microns? That's impossible. So I managed to do it, and he came to the Netherlands, and we put it together like Lego. Everything.
So he made
Nothing to be adjusted.
he made the cage on his machine. We were conversing too. He early on because I'm looking for a new machine for my new workshop, and he told me about what he did to the machine. And he said he told the company, and that now they will laser align it and do things at the factory if you ask them, and that you guys didn't use the metal version structure. You used the what's it carbon fiber.
Mineral goose. Yeah, it's a sort of a concrete, very
Composite, like a composite, almost like a Richard. It's like a Richard Mille watch CNC machine.
Yeah.
So wait, so let me get this straight. So he made the cage, one of the cages to the tourbillon, and then at your workshop, after you aligned your machine, you made some parts and they fit together perfectly.
Yeah, I made all the stuff by hand.
By hand.
All the gears and the escapement, and this is actually one of them with a cutter, profiled cutter for one of the gears on the tourbillon. But when you have to work within 2 microns, for example, on the teeth cutting, well, it's impossible. So, and that meant that on my old machine, I would do 5 discs at once to make 5 escape wheels, and then try a next batch, and then measure, and then again try a next batch. And even when I wouldn't change the settings on the machines, the next batch would be different than the other batch, and then change a bit, and then so after about 6, 7, 8 batches, there were a couple of escape wheels that were within the 2 microns accuracy, and the rest was just garbage. So even when you do a run and you measure and you do the same run again without any changes, there will be a difference, because microns are really small. Hundreds is okay, but when you're working with microns, it's almost impossible. So you have to get lucky on this machine actually. So run. And well,
can we look at the escape wheel? You've mentioned the escape wheel, but I've got an amazing sequence of images that you were very kind to send to us. And Joe, for anyone who's curious about how you go about creating your escape wheel, I'll run them in sequence. Talk me through them, please, Machiel. So
this is actually a batch of escape wheels. So I designed the escapement myself and do all the calculations from the mainspring to the hairspring. So this means that I also need to make the pellet fork and cut the rubies, because this is my escapement and there are no rubies available for my escapement. So I cut my own rubies as well. And so when I designed the escapement, I designed the cutter as well. And then in Switzerland, they will make the actual cutter with my design profile, so I can mill it at my place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the hardening, tempering. And then there's bluing. I thought it would be nice to keep it blue.
Yeah. So we're just, folks, just if you're listening and not watching, we're going through a sequence of images here showing the different stages of just creating the escape wheel, which is, yeah, it's fascinating to see the different processes involved. And, you know,
And this is actually a holder to burnish the teeth of the escape wheel. And here you can see how I use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice tool. Great work.
It's very simple, adjustable, and it works like a charm. So,
And there we have the finished blued steel or blued escape wheel. It's fascinating to see. I spent a lot of time looking at these images over the weekend. And,
What material are you making this out of?
let's see. So this is not silver steel. This is 20 AP.
Okay.
And that's another material you have to get from Switzerland.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And
Man, and it costs a fortune. It's amazing.
Yep, and you can't just buy a little bit neither.
Nope. No.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about previously. And so for those who are thinking about getting into indie, or those who are just fascinated by what we do and the struggles we do have, when others tell you that they build everything in house or this or that, trying to make a regular lever escape wheel and how in house is basically unheard of. So they are purchased by a specific supplier in Switzerland who will sell you them. So no matter what people are telling you, I can sell you the Brooklyn Bridge too. So when it comes to people like seeing what you're seeing here, or my single impulse escapement that I do, and Cyril Brevet or Luc Minet, who we all came up with the Louis Rashad escapement, open source stuff, to be able to make your own escapement in our workshops, that's independent watchmaking. That takes us it makes us free. We're now free to do what
I do understand why most people are not doing it, because it's hard. It's quite hard. I made a new escapement for the Easy Perpetual. It actually worked the first time, but normally you have to tweak, and it's quite a job. And if you can name 5 people who make their own escapements, then I will buy you not a beer, a 6-pack, or whatever.
I was trying to say it in a nice way. I can sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. So this is an important episode that we're doing here. If everyone's watching, this is the important part. So making an escapement is painful, very painful. It's gratifying, but if once we get it down, all the tools you're seeing just to polish the escape wheel, that's all the stuff that's not, you got to figure out for yourself, and trial and error. And so it's like building a whole watch and then figuring it out for yourself. So if you wonder why there's only 11 pieces to a series, or how many are you making of your Tourbillon series?
12 for sale and 1 for auction.
Okay,
charity.
It's a lengthy process. It's very nice of you to do that. That's
of the Solstitium.
That's it. It's incredible.
Yeah, and the Easy Perpetual as well.
When are you opening the books? Is it sold out, or is this the Grand Poobah of announcement?
The Easy Perpetual actually last year, August, opened the books, and I sold some, and the rest is still open. And when I have the prototype finished, then I think it will be sold out within no time.
I agree.
But I need the prototype first. So yeah. So I heard many people. I want one, but I want to see the prototype and so touch and feel and see how it works and blah blah blah. And so I can imagine, because it's quite a lot of money. So and it's a different kind of complication as well, because it's different from everything out there. So I understand that they want to see the prototype first, and for the Tourbillon Solstitium, that's actually open from last Sunday.
Yeah,
Summer
that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna go fast.
Yeah, that's
That's gonna go fast.
yeah, but still some available. So yeah.
I do think that something like this, I'm delighted that we're doing this conversation on the same week that the Solstitium Tourbillon has been announced and revealed, because it provides so much insight into the processes and the labor and the effort that goes into your work. I'm going to skip on again. You mentioned, or actually skip on by going back a step. You mentioned that the escape wheel was part of your triple axis tourbillon, and we have some images of that there as well. And so again, this is something that you have designed from scratch. Again, a commission or something that you created out of your own
Yes. Yeah.
volition.
Yeah, so there's also a globe, and well, when we designed the watch and I designed the movement, and then later the customer said, "Yeah, but I want to be able to rotate the globe for each time zone." I thought, time zone? There's no time zone. So then I already had parts, and I thought, man, I have to integrate a system with 24 hours, being able to set the disk for 24 time zones, all depicted with logos, flags, and stuff like that. Really, really cool. But also rotate the globe that is turning on its own already. So, well, that took some time, and some tries as well, because the first 2 tries didn't actually work. So, third time I designed a system that I could incorporate in the current design, and well, now you can set the time through 24 time zones. The globe rotates. So.
How did you make the globe? Is that done on the ISO 5-axis?
No, it's lost wax method, and then it's reworked by hand because the edges are too smooth. So you take the micromotor and rework the whole all the continents, and then rough up the oceans. And then enamel. Oh no! First I did nickel plating, and then rhodium plating, the whole globe. Because when you do the enameling, and after the enameling you want to polish the enameling, you will take off the electroplating from the rest of the surfaces. So you have to replate again. But then, if you didn't plate the globe first, then there will be a visible yellow line between the new plating and the actual globe and the enamel. So yeah, so first electroplating, enameling, and then electroplating.
Wow, beautiful.
And there's a moon next to the globe. And this is a more simple moon, 122 years accurate. 24-hour alarm on the bottom, with the 24 time zones depicted there. This is for the jumping hours. Let's see, the moon and the jumping hours, and it has a pausing minutes because it's a round dial. So if you have a jumping hours and the minutes hand is at 12, well, it can be 3 seconds before or 3 seconds after 12, but you won't be able to see it. So in this case, there's about a minute that half a minute before the new 12 o'clock position, it will stop, and then together with the jump, the minute hand will jump over the 12 to half a minute past. So you will be able to clearly see that it has jumped or it didn't jump yet. And you can see the hammer as well on the bottom, or actually in the middle. That's the buzzer for the alarm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I have just said.
Yeah, mad scientist. That's total mad scientist.
It's incredible. And then it topped off with the triple axis tourbillon. So
yeah,
there you go. Wow.
yeah.
It's just you're a mad scientist, though, man. It's official. We got to get you we got to get him a sign to hang over his bench.
That's why I was so keen to get you on to talk about this, Machiel.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is the journey from when we first spoke many years ago to now. It's a beautiful journey to watch, man. Warms my heart to see this.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Nice to hear. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. So
Yeah, a lot happened in the meantime.
Do you have assistants, helpers, someone you're teaching along the way there, or are you looking to take?
I had help. So I had two guys from the south of France, and then with the grandest of complications, that customer actually couldn't continue with the project anymore, and then stuff fall apart a bit. So I had to fire them. So that was those were hard times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that project, the technical design is finished. I can start making the movement tomorrow, but the project has stopped. And
that's a very expensive setup.
So somebody commissioned the one watch, and then during the production of it, they decided I'm going to pull. Is that what you're saying?
Well, he didn't decide. He had to. So things went really south for him as well. Yeah. So hard times for him, hard times for me as well. Yeah.
So you had two helpers along this project, and unfortunately, you had to let them go. See, this is what you all have to understand if you're watching what goes into all this. It is our story. It's the story of creation, and things don't go well sometimes, but you got to continue and push forward, and you have to. That's why you have to be doing a few things at once. Everyone goes through life, and we have our ups and our downs, and building a watch like what Machiel does, or all of us, it takes years and years, so a lot can happen on both sides to people.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot about your resilience that you take a setback like that. It's like obviously you've made great strides forward with your beautiful new workshop, your atelier, where you're working out of, and invested in that at the same time as taking the occasional punch in the guts when you get a setback like that, and it throws everything up in the air for a while, and you have to recalibrate and refigure how you're going to move forward and cross the bridge, because you're probably relying on the revenue or from that project to fund your other projects. And
so when this customer had to bail, I had to fire the watchmakers, but we were working, and there was another guy actually helping as well. So we were with 4 together. So 3.5 people working on the triple axis tourbillon project, and then I had to fire them. So I was working alone, but there was no income anymore, even for the triple axis tourbillon. So then I had to figure out, okay, now what? I have to finish the triple axis tourbillon no matter what happens.
Yeah.
So that's the first priority. But I need to eat, and my wife wants to eat as well. So, and then I thought, well, man, I really want to make the perpetual calendar module, because that's my biggest invention in the grandest of complications. The rest is nice, but the perpetual calendar module, that's, man, I want to do it. So I thought, okay, let's do a series of 12. And then I can at least make my invention come to life. So that's when I started with the series, and I had to design it and work on the prototype next to the triple axis tourbillon project, which was only, instead of 3.5 guys, was half a guy. So that's taking a bit longer now, and the easy perpetual is actually going quite well. So, but it was a struggle, and now it's good again. But
incredible. We'll actually take a look at. We've mentioned triple axis tourbillon. We've mentioned the Solstitium. We've mentioned in passing the easy perpetual. We haven't taken a look at it. This, to me, is a remarkable piece. And so, explain a little bit about the easy perpetual. Does it do what it says on the tin?
Yeah, so again, I want to make things easy, and this is just pull the crown to set the time, pull it once more to the second position, and then you set the date. Forwards, backwards, doesn't matter. There's no correctors or pushers because everything is always synchronized, so you don't need correctors. You can go fast forward, fast backwards, doesn't matter. And because there are no buttons, I thought it would be nice to emphasize the fact that there are no buttons or pushers, nothing. So I want to put prisms there instead of buttons.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
prisms that reflect the text, the information on the discs.
Yes, the discs are on the other side of the movement.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, and the easy perpetual, again, easy because it is correctable forwards and backwards.
Yeah, and there's some safety built in during midnight, for example. So it knows exactly, even around midnight, when you can still change it, or there is a certain time where you can't, but it knows. And if you want to set the date, and you set the date halfway between 18 and 19, for example, and you just go, oh, whatever, click, and you go back, then it will actually go back one position to the time setting position, but the function will still remain in the perpetual calendar mode. And so you have to, and when you turn the crown forward or backwards, then it will say click, and then you can go to winding mode again. So there's a safety built in that you can't set the date half or midway or whatever. So you can't make any mistakes anymore.
Foolproof.
So there's no way to break it, even during midnight. It doesn't matter. So there's a lot of safeties built in, and it's actually designed for a 7-year-old kid to play with.
Who is making your cases?
That's Lost Wax as well.
So you're making all your cases in-house as well?
I don't do the actual melting. No. I get them here delivered, and it looks like this actually. If you see how rough it even looks worse than this. So this is actually a Lost Wax case that has been filed already and shaped for over a week.
Are they made in your country?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an important fact. Yeah, that's nice. Beautiful.
It's yeah.
Yeah, so this is the movement for the East Perpetual, and now it's actually running. So the escapement is in, balance, wheel, everything.
How do you go about when you design a timepiece and you get to the case? Obviously, it looks like you are designing the case yourself. Do you do a trial case yourself, made out of stainless steel to make sure everything fits? Can you walk us through your that part of your construction?
Yes. So the case you just saw was actually not brass. It was bronze, a bronze case. So that's because it's a lot cheaper, and this is where I can do my testing and adjusting, making the holders, everything, and
So
making the tools to get.
Do you make the prototype bronze case in your workshop, or do you have someone nearby do it just to make sure that everything fits?
For the case?
Yes,
No, not in my workshop. No, it's another company.
but it's also in your country nearby.
Yeah. Yes.
Wonderful. No, it's good to see. I like everyone to see the steps of what we have to go through. We're also prototyping the case as well, everybody, to make sure everything fits, because that doesn't mean it fits if it's in CAD it's 100%, but still we need physical product in our hands to see what's really the smallest of small things that might not be correct.
Yeah, and things shrink a bit or warp and all that kind of stuff. So you need to leave some room to be able to adjust the case and cut away material. So it will be actually round and have the correct shape. So you get a rough shape, but then you have to start milling and filing, sanding, polishing, and make all the tools to do so.
Mm-hmm. See, people have to understand what it really takes. We're always just talking about the movement and the mechanics because we're watchmakers, right? But everyone has to understand it doesn't end there. We still have dials and cases, and all that has to be prototyped. That costs money to pay somebody if we can't do it in house. To make the bronze prototype, and all that has to be factored into the cost of the watch. If everyone's wondering why the cost is what the cost is, and why it takes so long, especially people who are new to indie, who are just coming from brands. We don't have teams and teams of people at our disposal, and just going down the street in Switzerland to the case maker who makes 150,000 cases a year. It doesn't work like that. We're dealing in very small quantities, and everything. We have to find a way to get that done.
Yeah, and I think so. In Switzerland, you have a lot of opportunities, possibilities, of course. But so if you look at the tourbillon, if in Switzerland you want, if you would design a tourbillon and you say, okay, I want to have one prototype, it will cost you about 700,000 to 800,000 euros for a prototype. So that's in Switzerland for one piece. So, and we had to do it ourselves for a lot less, of course. But yeah, and find different ways to do so.
Yep, and get the funding to get the machines that we have to find and then restore. Old Shaolin 70s. Sometimes we got to buy 3 Shaolin 70s to make one to rob the parts from one to the other. So Machiel shaking his head, but it's still, it's not $200,000 to buy a brand new Shaolin 70 when you have unlimited budgets from a multi-billion-dollar company. So we operate at a whole different tier. Our price structures cannot be like the brands, and we're not building watches. Remember, I repair watches here. So there are no parts for any of these modern watches, just so everyone understands. What I'm fixing here, these $180,000, I won't say the name of the brands, whatever they are, and up watches. The gears are so paper thin. They're produced with the EDM machines, spark erosion machines. They're cut like Swiss cheese. I cannot, when those gears break 50 years from now, if I was still alive, I can't go on the Shaolin 70, neither can Machiel, and make those gears and pinions. It's not going to happen. And there are no parts in parts houses around the world, like in the 1950s, when my grandfather used to fix Rolexes, and you could go down the street and get parts. So we still have some of those leftover parts all around the world. We can somehow find parts, or we can make the parts for older watches because the wheels and pinions are very thick. These watches nowadays, most of them, I can tell you, they're not generational, they're landfill. The reason I'm telling you that, because I'm doing this here every day, is the watches that he's making, the watches that I make, and most of us in Indy, we all know this as watchmakers. Roger W. Smith set the trend for all of us to make things sometimes a little thicker and a little better to watch, but you know what? You'll be able to remake every single part in these watches in a watchmaker's workshop, a traditional workshop with traditional watchmaking tools forever. So your money is safeguarded with Indy. It's not safeguarded with the brands. They want an end of life, just like your car is end of life.
True. Yeah.
And also restrict access to parts.
That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody has parts accounts anymore. Well,
And
I get tourbillons in here from big brands, and when I open them up, there's homemade parts in them already. Modern watches from people who never went to watchmaking school. The part is not even. It's horrible. So there is no parts, but we got to keep them running. They don't want to send them back to Switzerland and wait 2.5 years and pay whatever price they would dictate to you because they have a monopoly on the parts. Whatever they say, if it's $40,000 to fix your tourbillon, that's the price. You know, if you say, "Wow, that's ridiculous," I'll get it done by me. Well, we don't sell parts to anybody. So in Indy, like my new watch is like Machiel's. Every single screw, pinion, every pin, everything, he can make it. His son can make it if he has one.
I'll tell him.
Your money is safe and secure, is what I'm saying. So you might pay a little bit more up front, and that's why I think later on, when we're gone, the Phillips auctions and all this stuff, and our stories, these are going to be the watches that are going to escalate the price because they're still going to be here.
Yeah,
There is. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that because, as I said, just following Machiel's story, meeting Machiel at the different events that we go to in Geneva and spending a little time or sharing a beer and just catching up with what is going on. Every time I come across you, I meet you, it's I'm blown away. I think you're in a league of very few. There are a few others who are. I use the word defiant, resilient, persistent, probably stubborn. That you're not going to accept no for an answer. And even when you're talking about when you were doing the triple axis tourbillon and how you collaborated with another watchmaker in Switzerland, say it can't be done well. Turning that conversation to well, maybe it can be done if you do it that way, and look, isn't the essence of horology and watchmaking problem solving and figuring out how to overcome challenges that nobody else has possibly ever overcome before, and it's the application of what's in there and how that comes out. And I have to say, this conversation has just been fascinating to be part of, to be sitting on the side even here, listening to the two of you.
Well, again, in the beginning of thrash metal music, for us in Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, that sound didn't exist anywhere but in our heads. The amplifiers, the Marshall amplifiers, the speakers, they weren't here yet to be able to even get that sound. If we plugged into an amp, it was like a clean, kind of lightly distorted amp. So then we had to create a way to modify amps to get the sound in our heads out. That's what we're doing here in indie watchmaking. It's the same thing. It's like I said earlier, like, can you top this kind of thing? But it's not to prove, and right? It's to prove to ourselves, like, we're achievers. We're overachievers. Almost all the people that I meet, we're overachievers. It's good. It's not good enough. It's like, oh yeah, this is. I wonder if that can be done.
Most people won't understand, actually, because even I make my own escapements. Nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares, but I want to do it. And there's a lot of newcomers, of course. A lot of them with investors behind them, driving the designs and hiring the people to do the calculations, and hiring people to get the design perfect. And it's all money-driven investment, blah blah blah. And this is it's a different story. I mean, it's what I want to do, and I want to make my own escapements, and I want to be able to cut the rubies, and I want to be able to make everything in-house, because it's what I love. And maybe the collector who buys my timepiece, if there's one crazy enough to actually see, but he made even the screw and the pinion, and how did he do the pivots? But most people won't even think about that. It's just,
do you not think
dial? I like it, or there's a complication. How does it work? Okay, nice, yeah, or not, maybe not. Okay. So,
do you not think that there is a growing awareness among collectors who are more in tune with those little nuances?
No, because there's too much lies. Everybody's lying their pants off. Name one person who made his own tourbillon. Completely himself. Okay, let's make it easy. If you can name 3, I will buy you the same beers as I will buy for them. So it's well. And don't care as well. It's okay. People just don't care, but I care. So I want to do it. So
that's it. Well, I'm on the same path as you. My upcoming flying tourbillon
as well.
Yeah, it was a whole new kind of tourbillon that I thought of, and I am making everything myself. There's far few between who aren't telling the truth and all that kind of stuff. Look, there's plenty of people that get so far, and then this is another sector that no one really talks about, because you got the other sector of people who are like, well, CNC bad, and because there's this notion out there from average people who don't know machining that you press a button and like bubble gum, the parts come out and you just put them in the watch. That's CNC, right? And it's so fun. So the reason these people, most I would say, don't use CNC is if you can go back to high school and think about people who they get this far and they're making something by hand, but they don't want to take a year of their life and stop this to learn a whole nother career on how to program, how to write CAM, learn the CAM language, because it's not going to be right when the computer spits it out, and learn how to do all that and do everything, and then test the parts till you get the 30 parts come out of the machine. It could be 3-4 months for one part, and it's still not right. And it's still raw. It looks just like you handmade it when it comes off the machine. Except once we get that right, so everybody understands, now the next watch, and the next watch, it's all the same. That's what Roger W. Smith has shown everyone. He's got Kearns in his basement. Okay, it's not made by hand. It's made by machine. So that every watch is the same. It's the same accuracy. That's why we use CNC. I mean, I spent a year of my life. I built my own CNC machine from nothing, from what I thought, because when I started, a Kern is 1.3 million. So, and I don't have the space for that. So that's why I always ask everyone, what they're using, because people are using the new Haas machine now with some hop-ups, and I'm was very interested in the ISO, because that opens up a broad spectrum of affordability to a lot of us to get 5-axis if it just needs a little tweak. it's not 200 grand for a Micro 5. It's a little bit more reasonably priced. So that's very interesting, and thank you for sharing that. Because we all see it in your workshop, but we're all curious to know a little more. So people should know he had to stop and learn CNC, had a language, and had to do it. Add that to the George Daniels book of I don't know how many jobs you're supposed to be to make your own watch. We're way past that now.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's not 32 anymore. It's CNC and doing marketing and everything. Then it's a lot more. But I actually want to go back to something Johnny said in the beginning. You didn't say handmade or anything. You said hands-on. So that might be a good term, because everybody is saying handmade and it's not. So I'm not saying my watches are handmade, because I do 80% by hand. That's true. Or 90% of the time for sure is handmade, but there's still CNC involved. And that can be done a bit faster if you do it correctly, save you a bit of time and keep the precision. So CNC is perfect for the most complicated watch in the world. If I want to do it, it wouldn't be done before I retire. Mm-hmm. My son wouldn't even be able to to complete it if it's all done by hand. So you need a CNC for certain things, and that's okay. But as long as you do it in-house, another term that everybody is using, but it's a worthless term now.
No, it's not. You are in your house making your watches.
Yes, it's my actual house.
You are in house.
Yeah. But
I think
maybe.
Maybe that's the term. Yeah. You gotta buy your own house, live there, and work there to be able to claim it's in house.
Oh, that's a good
I am pretty careful with the words and the terms that I use, because I see a lot of cliches coming up now. I see the expression handcrafted or crafted with care. And I see that there's a Mazda automobile advertisement on the television at the minute, and it's every car is crafted. Get two.
But people actually, they want to hear it and they don't care. I actually mentioned in an app group of over 1,000 collectors, I said, okay guys, this is the new low in watchmaking marketing. Manually overseeing the CNC machines. So hand making stuff by manually overseeing the CNC processes. So then I thought, where is this going? And I joined in that group and I got stung.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I think I'm done here with all those terms and everything. I'll get back to my corner with my little machines, do my work. It's
Well, listen, I want to. We're approaching 90 minutes, and it's the longest one we've done in a long time. But I hope it's okay if we start rounding it up now. You know what I'm like, Dan, trying to close it off. I usually go through this process.
Johnny said if we start the shows up again, we'll try to keep them to 30 minutes and then close it out at 35 to say goodbye, because that's the attention span. But what happens is when I get to someone like you, I'm in such awe of where you came from, because we spoke when you were just starting, and if I'm correct, you sold your Porsche, right? To get going. Yeah. So it's such a beautiful story to see that we don't want to let you go. We're very proud of you. I'm very proud of you, of where you've gotten. We know what it's like to wake up in your home and it's just you going to the workshop, to get up every day to go in there. That takes passion, takes ingenuity, takes super crazy intelligence. It's OCD, ADD, all the things I was showing in it, bro. Like, you got all kinds of diseases that they're supposed to put a label on you. But in my eyes, those are all good things. those are all just beautiful things that have made you you, and you're creating micromechanical art that'll be here forever. And you know, there's not many that will step out of the box to do that. And it's like an honor to talk to you. So we don't want to let you go. That's why it's 90 minutes.
The terms that you've just mentioned, Dan, ADHD, ADD, all those different things, you know, those are things that your schoolmasters or your teachers would have come down on you and tried to beat out of you over time. But they are things that you gotta embrace. And say,
That's our asset. That's our asset.
It's your secret weapon. It's your secret weapon. It really is. And you know, and it's true that channels that creative energy that comes from so many of these amazing people that we get to meet. But so listen, folks, what I am going to wrap it up at this point. I want to thank first of all everybody who has watched the episode and everything else that we do. If you like what we're doing, do give us a little subscribe. It means a lot to us to see those numbers just creeping up little by little. It means a lot. I want to also thank Dan for helping me co-host this incredible conversation, and obviously Machiel Hulsman for joining us. And again, and do you know something? I could see this conversation. We'll have to do it again sometime, because what you're doing is the essence of traditional watchmaking. Yes, with a little sprinkle of technology in there, as you say, for CNC, but the fundamentals of traditional classical watchmaking and the creations that you're coming up with are just mind-blowing. And so Machiel, I want to thank you very much indeed for coming on board.
Thanks for having me.
So, folks, we will be back. We will be doing another one of these in another 2 or 3 weeks with myself and Dan on top. As I said, describe it as the nitty-gritty of watchmaking, of atelier life. And but for now, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all the next time around.